Obviously, an emotional high in Denver the other night. Not so much here against the Utah Mammoth. But how do you deal with that as a player? What does that kind of letdown feel like, Whit?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I would say the travel is probably more difficult than the emotional letdown, right? I think that you get on the plane, you're all excited. No doubt the vibes are so high in TO right now. Long flight, you get in, you just don't feel great. Team gets on you early, and it's kind of like, all right, this isn't our night. Ideally, that's not how it goes with the team, and you're fighting, but it ended up getting out of hand score wise. But it's something where you look at it from the bigger side and say, all right, we're still playing really good hockey. Like total burn the tape situation, I think. It's such a different feeling around Toronto than I don't know. When did we talk, Jay? Like a month ago, a little longer, where it was like, oh my god, this is ugly. And
Yeah.
at this point, that's switched around enough where you're able to throw this away. Had this happened in the middle of the disaster of a few weeks ago, a month ago, that's a different story.
Mhm. What do you remember, Whit, about playing in Colorado? Like, I remember getting there and doing like a pregame skate and looking around, going, "Holy fuck! Is everyone else legs just burning like you're skating in sand here?" Like, do you remember that? What do you remember about being at elevation there in Denver? And do you think there's any effects of that after the fact?
I do remember the first time feeling it and feeling like, wow, like short of breath, don't necessarily have the same legs that I usually feel like I have. But I got lucky. Like my first few times in Denver, that was when they were struggling. They were in those years of between the Forsberg, Sakic, all that, and kind of later on, right? Like, or even at the end of those guys where it wasn't the same team that you're seeing now. If you went in there now, like that team now, and you actually get a win, I feel like you're allowed to celebrate like a baseball team, winning the division in the regular season. Like we just beat Colorado in Colorado because they are so good, so quick, and then the teams and the players who are feeling a little bit off, a little bit tired, it makes it even more difficult. But I do remember the first period at least, just feeling a pregame skate, feeling off, not feeling the exact same as other times.
You buying this hot stretch the last 11 games or so here?
Mm, I'm buying it because Matthews looks incredible again. Like I don't know what happened. Like, I was kind of convinced on what I was watching that there was some sort of injury, and as a USA fan and somebody who knows that we need him to be at the top of his game to have a chance in Milan, it was bumming me out. It's like, and just like as a hockey fan, like this guy and the pace he's on scoring goals, just an incredible player to watch. So much fun, and I always saw the dynamic skating and how powerful he was with his body. He's probably more physical than people think, especially with the puck, the way he shields guys off. And so what I was seeing, it was crazy. I was like, he has to be injured, but he hasn't really missed any time, and all of a sudden it's all switched after that hat trick, or even before that maybe. And now it's like, all right, maybe if he continues to do this, they can, keep rolling, get into the playoffs. I will say I don't want to play them in the first round if they get in, right? If they get a wild card spot and somehow Detroit wins the Atlantic, it's like, wait, what? This is who we get. But the no Tanev thing for me for the rest of the regular season, I'm hearing, I don't know, has that been announced? I think it has been, is like, that's going to be tough to overcome. You're going to need really good play from a lot of defenders. And I just feel like they're such a different team when Tanev's in the lineup. So Biz keeps talking about like how good Michelli looks lately, and Domi's looked better, and Nyes has looked better. And so yeah, if that all continues, I think they could get in. But the defensive aspect of it is a question mark for me with no Tanev.
And we were talking before you came on about Dougie Hamilton, kind of a possible dumpster fire situation in New Jersey. They unload him. Like, what do you think about? What do you think the Leafs would be willing to give up to get a right-handed, offensive-minded defenseman like Doug Hamilton, who's not playing awesome right now? Like, what do you think the level of give is to get somebody like that to help out their blue line?
I don't know. That's tough only because I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up a ton, right? Like
No.
Dougie Hamilton, if you knew you were going to get 2 more years at $9 million of top-notch Dougie Hamilton, then it's a different question. But with him, it seems like it's up and down a little bit. I also think like you shouldn't really be put in a spot to give up that much, considering how it's very obvious they want to get rid of him. Like whoever's trading for him is in the driver's seat. Like it's been so public with them trying definitely once, if not twice, to get him to leave. It's like you don't have to throw the kitchen sink at them. Yeah, they may say no. If you want him that bad, it changes things. But if it's a possibility that you're able to get him and you're able to say, listen, like at least internally, like they have to get rid of him. They need to move on from him. They want to move on from him. So we could maybe get him for a price that we'd be, happy to pay. I just think Dougie Hamilton could go and be great there on the power play. He's got a hell of a shot. He moves the puck well, can skate. If it was bad Dougie Hamilton, that will be up there with the Larry Murphy, Toronto Maple Leafs booing situation. Like he just screams a guy to me that Leafs fans would torture if things went wrong. It's a big, not physical defenseman. That's kind of the bread and butter right there. So if he's not producing, that's when it could turn into a disaster. Now, he could easily go there and produce. He's done it in his career before. I'm kind of just thinking like I could see that one not work too.
Whit, how are you thinking about that Carlo Minton trade these days?
Oh, that's a tough one. Now, Carlo being in and playing and healthy with Tanev out, and if he could play good, that's a big deal. Like that's a guy who can be very solid, play top 4 minutes, and make a difference. But I got the Bruins games on a lot living here. Fraser Minton, he is a nice player. Like he is solid. He's a 200-foot player. Like I feel like people saying he'd be a great third line center on a really good team. Like I almost start to think in a couple of years he could be a second line center because he just does everything very well. I know he's well liked in the locker room. I know he's a good kid and he's playing a great hockey right now. And then to get the draft pick too, that's the thing where it's like, oh my God, I get, but I don't want to be too hard on Toronto because last year they're up 2-0 in the series against the Cup champs. Like they were going for it. Those are the types of moves you got to make to go for it. It didn't work out, but if it had, nobody'd be saying a thing right now. I know it's like ifs and buts, but they had to shore up their D. They wanted a big body in there, and all of a sudden they lose a series that they could have won. And now you're looking at the trade when Carlo gets injured this year and Minton's playing this well with the draft pick, and it's like, oh my God, like that's what I wish we could have back.
Yeah, and looking at the season as a whole, in the summertime, they made some changes, obviously, moved on from Mitch Marner, tried to change their identity. We thought there'd be some growing pains with figuring out who you are. It was a disaster. Like we've seen some of the most uninspiring hockey, like just no compete level at all, like embarrassing. And then they've flipped it at Christmas to the point where everyone, Matthews included, everyone thinks he's hurt, and all of a sudden he's this animal again. He's this dog. They're competing at a level that I don't think they have in years and years, playing the hockey everyone's been begging for them to play. What's your overall take on this team, what they've done, the departure of Mitch Marner, and how much belief do you have that they're a good team, or do you think this 10-game point streak they're just coming off of here is a bit of a fake?
Well, I think that this is way more of the team that they are, what we've seen recently, than what we saw early. Like going into the year, I guess I didn't appreciate how much not having Marner would kind of affect things early on. Now, that doesn't really give excuse or give a reason as to why like the compete wasn't there and there was nights that guys just looked like they really didn't care. Like that's not what I was thinking. But maybe Matthews struggling a little bit makes a lot more sense, and I can understand that. The compete thing is bizarre. Like there was just moments, like you said, like it looked like guys didn't want to be out there. They really didn't care. Now that's changed, and now you're seeing how this team can play. I think this is way more what I thought they'd be. Before the year, I gave over I said one of my bets of the year was Leafs over 99 points this year, just thinking like Matthews is still there. Nylander's a superstar when he wants to be. Joseph Wall can be great. Like this is also at the time Stolarz is healthy. So I just considered this a really good team still. So what I'm seeing now, I'm not that surprised. I was just way more shocked at the beginning. But the power play, like lately, hasn't been great, even though it got going for a while. I got that with no Marner. It would be odd. I got the Matthews struggles for a little bit, and they're finally starting to figure it out. I don't know. The compete level thing is bizarre, though. With Berube as coach, too, it was, at one point, I don't really mind him saying, like, ask them when asked, like, what was that tonight? Why can't they get going? Like, at some point, I feel like a coach is like, I've done this my whole life. I've won a Stanley Cup as a coach. I don't really know what's going on right now because they seem prepared. They seem ready to go. And then the game starts and there's no energy and there's no fight and there's no like fire from within the group. But they're way more on track right now to what I thought they would be. So I think this can continue. Just like I said, though, no Tanev. It's a huge loss for a defenseman to be out that isn't a high point scorer or isn't running a power play and to still be this big of a loss. It shows how good he is in his own zone and his compete.
So moving forward to Thursday night, I'm not exaggerating this. This is the most highly anticipated regular season game, I would say, in recent memory. The first game here against Mitch Marner. Nicolas Waugh returns to Vegas as well. Don't forget that. But, it's going to be weird for Marner, but as like the Leafs, the former team, what's that experience like? Do you have any examples of that type of game in your career?
Not really. I remember my first time going back to Pittsburgh after being traded from there for the Ducks didn't go well for me. I don't really remember playing somebody that was an enormous part of the team that moved on. When Hossa left in Pittsburgh to go to Detroit after we lost to them, I got traded the next year in February. I don't know if we'd played Detroit at that point. That kind of would have been an example. But, Hossa had just come in at the deadline, went to the Cup final and left. It wasn't at all compared to what Marner did, being from the area, playing for the team for that long. If I'm a Leafs fan, I would love to see the best compete night of the season. And I'm talking, not in a dirty way, but like a guy running Marner. And it's not at all like, trying to injure a guy or anything like that. I'm saying we are here to take you down. Vegas is leading the Pacific. We've really figured things out. They were coming off a big loss after an enormous win. Let's go in and run him out of the building. Let's show him what, that he's not a part of this group anymore, but we believe we're better off. And that's something where you hope Matthews and Nylander that night are at the top of their game. They're flying. It's a big FU game, I think, for both sides. Marner could say, hey, I left. This is what I got now. Look at our team and try coming into this building and getting a win. And for all the Leafs guys, you didn't want to be here anymore. Hey, you had your reasons, fine, but we're not friends right now the next 60 minutes. We're enemies, and we're going to look to take it to you. So I'm fired up for the game. I think all hockey fans are. It's not just Leafs and Golden Knights fans. It's a game that you kind of get to circle at the beginning of the year. I can't wait to see what goes down. But I'd want to see just super intensity from the Leafs, right? A ton of pissed off guys out there. Not at Marner, just that, you're not here. You didn't want to be here anymore. Well, look at what we got type thing.
This season, Whit has been Jekyll and Hyde as far as the tale of two different type of teams. What do you project here down the stretch? Is this a playoff team? Are they going to get in? Are they going to hold it together? What do you think the future holds for the Leafs?
I think they get it. I'm looking right now. I'm pulling this up. All right, so they're sitting in the second wild card spot right now. The only team I'm really worried about underneath them is Florida, okay? Buffalo's beneath them. I love what's happening there. I know I'm on a Leaf show right now. I would do anything if the Sabres could get in and the Leafs aren't in. I don't really care if the Leafs get in. Although I think it's better for the game when they're in. But if Buffalo could get in, I'd be very excited. But the Leafs are in a spot now where they fought their way back up. And the Eastern Conference is so tight, so they fought their way back up. Can they stay there? Can they continue to move up? Can they get a top 3 spot in the Atlantic? I don't know. I don't know if Detroit or Montreal are going to be falling back down the way that they maybe would have years prior. But I do see Toronto getting in. I just can't. I don't know. What is the Stolarz news? Have they said any? Is he skating?
Yeah, he's close. He's with the team.
That's a scary situation. So. Because that guy, he was so good last year. And Wall, when he's healthy, he's awesome. It's like Demko in a way. It's like, all right, he's great right now. Like, when are we going to find out that he's got a groin or he's got something here? It's just like, he's not very reliable based only on like availability. So if Stolarz can get back healthy, Wall could stay healthy, I think that they can get in the playoffs. I think they will get in the playoffs. Then it's a kind of a situation like, who knows? Like, who knows what they could do, right? The East is odd this year. I don't think Tampa looks great. They've won 11 in a row, and if Florida gets in, like, then it's like, oh, here we go again. But the East is wide open, so just get in and figure it out. I believe they will, based on the fact that the first half was so gross, and now they've looked so different. It's like, all right, I would think that from moving forward from now, if Matthews is this way as well, that this is the team that we thought we'd see that is actually here. And it was just a rough start.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.